Hey, I'm Connor Nielsen of CS Reviews. You know, I really love a good movie. And these are my top 10 personal favorite movies of all time. This is by no means a greatest list. This is a personal favorites once again. And these are the 10 movies that I would watch, you know, until the end of the world. I had a really hard time choosing between these, and I even had to like switch some stuff up around in this top 10 list right before I made the video. I mean, there's been a lot of great ones, a lot of terrible ones that I've seen over the years, but these are my top 10 favorites. Without further ado, let's dive on in. Okay, coming in at number 10 is arguably the greatest blockbuster ever, Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Robert Shaw, Roy Scheider, and Richard Dreyfuss. I really, really love this movie, and for some reason this movie gets a horrible reputation. Oh, no, you mean that one movie with the fake shark? You like that? What? I mean, everyone I say, oh yeah, Jaws, it's in my top 10, they kind of go, okay. I mean, what's bad about it? It's fantastic. It's a great thriller. It has a fantastic villain. The acting is phenomenal, and the chemistry between the three leads is amazing. The pacing is great. The suspense holds up, and you don't see the shark, which everybody says. It is amazing. The direction, I always like it when, you know, people like Hitchcock and Spielberg, you know, Hitchcock with Lifeboat and Spielberg with Jaws, you know, when they do water, when they direct on the water, because you need to be a good director to kind of get that feeling of isolation. And with Jaws and Lifeboat, I mean, they really have that sense of isolation. And with this movie, I mean, the terror can really just jump out at you, and you really buy the guy's chemistry, and you really buy the suspense, and this movie is great, and it gets number 10. Alright, coming in at number 9 is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho! Yes, another Alfred Hitchcock movie. Sorry, he's just my favorite director, and I don't have those, you know, stupid, one movie for director in my top 10 list. No, these are just my top 10 favorite movies, and there we go. Psycho! I mean, this is the greatest horror movie ever. I mean, it's so interesting, and how many people have tried to copy the same formula, but it doesn't work. And they tried recreating it in the 90s. You can't recreate the greatest horror movie ever and try to make it better. I mean, you just can't. And the acting is amazing, still holds up. The direction is Hitchcock, so it's, you know, just the best direction ever. Cinematography is, you know, amazing, especially with, well, just everything is amazing about the cinematography. The plot is great, and it's just a perfect movie. Definitely check this out. If you haven't seen this, you don't know what you're missing. Moving on to number 8. Alright, coming in at number 8 on our list is Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. This was for the longest time right under Psycho. But, you know, after thinking about it, I have seen this movie in the past year more than any other movie ever. You know, I've rewatched this more times. I think I've seen it 5 times in the past in less than a year, and I haven't seen any other movie in like less than a year more than that. So, you know, I just, this movie is hypnotizing because Alfred Hitchcock's cinematography and music by Bernard Herrmann, who is he is the king of the golden age of Hollywood musical scores. Yeah, the cinematography, the direction, the story is great, and I'm just glad that this finally gets the recognition it deserves, because when it came out it was hated, but Vertigo goes to number 8, and it's fantastic. Okay, coming in at number 7 on our list is my personal favorite Stanley Kubrick movie, 2001: A Space Odyssey. This definitely is one of the more loosely controversial movies, because either you love this movie or you hate this movie. And generally, a lot of people who critique this movie say, it's boring and tedious and long. Okay, well, I take the length of this movie as to more of its underlying theme, and that's evolution and how long it takes to evolve as a race. And I don't mean well, sure, why not? Yeah, evolution. And, you know, how long it takes to evolve. And I think this movie is amazing. It, once again, has the greatest musical score ever. And it's funny because none of it is original. But the way all the classical music is just overwhelming and consumes you, and it's just so majestic and mysterious and adventurous and all these different things in one. And the performances are good. Nothing special or memorable, but good. And HAL 9000 is the standout performance. The performance, voice acting is great. And HAL 9000 is one of my all-time favorite villains. And that final movement, whoa. But yeah, number 7, 2001: A Space Odyssey. Alright, coming in at number 6 is another Hitchcock movie. My third Hitchcock movie in my top 10. Don't worry, this is the last one. It's my personal favorite Hitchcock movie, and I reviewed this movie. You can find the link right here. And I mean, this movie is brilliant. The comedy works great. It's not a comedy movie, but it has a lot of comedic elements. Comedy works great. The suspense, fantastic. Performances, great. The writing is very, very good. I mean, it's suspenseful, comedic, a whole lot of stuff in one, and these characters are very well likable and so interesting that, I mean, it's a very human movie, and you really care about these characters, and it's Rear Window. It's Hitchcock's best movie, and just watch my review. Okay, kicking off our top 5 is the Mario Puzo / Francis Ford Coppola classic, The Godfather. I seriously cannot say anything that hasn't already been said about The Godfather. The performances, might be the best acted movie ever. The cast is great. You know, you hate the people you're supposed to hate. You root for the people you're supposed to root for. I mean, there's nothing about The Godfather I can't say. So let's just play a game. Hey, what's your favorite Godfather character? Oh, me? Mine is Sonny Corleone. You know, the James Caan, the hotshot one, you know. That one scene, I call it the reason Buddy the Elf's dad is on the naughty list. You know what scene I'm talking about. But this movie is awesome. It's so well, the cinematography is great. The acting, once again, phenomenal. Direction, once again, phenomenal. Music is great. One of my favorite musical scores. I can't say anything else. It's The Godfather. Okay, number 4 is Star Wars. No, not Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Star Wars, the original theatrical Star Wars movie. This movie is my childhood. That's the best way I can put it. And I never saw the original theatrical cut until this past year. And I watched it, on our full screen TV, because that's the only way I could watch it, because it's in letterbox. So I couldn't watch it on this thing. So I watched it, and oh my gosh, when the thing just said Star Wars, it is a period of Civil War, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm watching Star Wars. And it just makes me feel like a kid again. It's easily the best of the saga. So majestic, so awesome, and Darth Vader is awesome. I mean, this movie is my childhood. I don't know how to stress it enough. I mean, I used to think Empire was the best, but after much consideration, Star Wars is the best of the trilogy. And so I thought about it. I figured, you know what, this might be my personal favorite movie series. I said, well, the prequels killed the series. No, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That's the series. The prequels are the prequels to the series. So it's kind of like 2 series. But the original one might just be my personal favorite series. Moving on. Okay, so when I was a kid, I loved movies. I loved Star Wars. I liked movies. And so I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid. And then, as time went on, I kind of got more into rock and roll music. I still really am. But if it wasn't for the Shawshank Redemption, I would have, no, this is the movie that got me back into movies, and now I want to be a director, and this movie is great. I mean, it's Shawshank Redemption with M. Robbins and Morgan Freeman. Tim Robbins, Morgan Freeman. This movie is great. I compared this to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, saying this is the flip side, and it really is. But I find that dealing with life's unfairities is more relatable, and the acting on these two movies is like just as good as each other. And Frank Darabont, you can tell his direction style was heavily influenced by The Godfather and Francis Ford Coppola. Because when I was watching The Godfather, I was thinking, yeah, this feels influenced by you can definitely tell that Frank Darabont was influenced by The Godfather. And so, because this is a movie that got me back into movies, the least I can give it is my number 3 spot. Okay, coming in at number 2, Inception. I am a huge Nolan fan, and I personally thought Inception was the greatest movie of last year. I understand why King's Speech won. I mean, it was politically the most obvious that would win, and it won. So, I mean, Inception was a masterpiece. I own it on Blu-ray in like that big briefcase thing. Oh my gosh, that thing is awesome. And this movie is just so great. It has so many ideas. It's so ambitious. It has great acting. Just cinematography is great. The direction is amazing. It is just awesome. And I mean, as a kid, I was such a creative kid. I had all these ideas. Even if the ideas sucked, I'd always see how the ideas work and if it would even turn, if it would be good in the end. Granted, most of the time it wasn't, but these ideas would just grow in my head and I just needed to express them. And a movie that's pretty much about creating ideas and putting ideas into play got my attention right away, and put it into a great plot, give it to the greatest director alive right now, sorry Spielberg, and then you get Inception. And I love this movie a lot, and a lot of people don't like this movie. I don't care. I love this movie. It's my second favorite movie. If you don't like it, make your own list, because it's my number 2 favorite movie. And my number 1 favorite movie is, I don't even need to say it. You all knew this was coming. It is Citizen Kane. What is it with the taboo of putting this at number 1? I don't get it. People put Godfather at number 1. Ooh, that's number 2 on AFI's list, is not number 1, so it's not taboo to put it on top of my list. People put Casablanca on top of their list. Oh, but that's number 3, and it was number 2, so it's not taboo, if you think about it. Ooh, Citizen Kane. Ooh, that's number 1 on AFI. You are a film junkie. Ooh, that's taboo. You shouldn't do that. You're not a real film fan. You're just a student. No, I love this movie, and I love movies, and I don't get what the taboo is with this movie. Why can't I put it at the top of my list without people complaining? Citizen Kane, I love this movie a lot. Everything about this movie is perfect. Wells's performance, direction, the screenplay he wrote with Mr. Mankiewicz. Yes, the grandfather to Ben Mankiewicz, the killer of At the Movies, along with Ben Lyons. But anyways, I mean, this movie is gold, and because it was a very controversial movie at the time, it was not politically correct to have it win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Well, it's a fantastic movie. I love the shadows in this movie. I love the characters in this movie. The characters who annoy you are supposed to annoy you. And I think it's so interesting how Mr. Bernstein, he's pretty much scared of Mr. Kane, but he's friends with him, but he's pretty much scared, and he wants to keep everyone in line so he doesn't anger Mr. Kane. And Jedediah Leland, played by Joseph Cotton, he's angry at Mr. Kane. He wants to go up against him, and Mr. Bernstein's trying to keep him down. Goes, "You don't want to do that." And this has several of my all-time favorite movie scenes. You know, like the one, "I'm drunk." That's one of my favorite movie scenes. And Orson Welles' portrayal of Charles Foster Kane. I mean, this guy, the thing about this movie is you can think about this guy as many ways as you want. You can think of him as a jerk, a great guy, a lost soul. Either way, you still love the movie even if you don't like the character. And that's the glory of this movie. It's a fantastic movie, and the musical score by Bernard Herrmann, there he is again. I forgot to mention his name on a lot of other movies, but this movie is coming to Blu-ray. I am stoked for it. I'm really excited, and I don't know, this movie, I could ramble on all day about this movie, and I really don't like how this ending is spoiled all the time, but Citizen Kane, Orson Welles' masterpiece, the masterpiece of all cinema, Citizen Kane, is my personal favorite movie. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I'm Connor Nielsen, and I'm out.